Hello, this is Dr.Bhawani Adhikari. Today he has come with new chapter. It is a new title, and the title of the uh, mm, this article or a story is The Hundred Dove. It is a fairy tale, and it is written by uh, Jane Yellen, right? And this story has brought the real this concept of the fairy tales. The Hundred Dove is a fairy tale written by Jen Yolin. Hog is the fowler, means hunter. He provides the game birds for the High King's table. The larger birds he hunted with bow, but for the smaller birds he used only a silken net he wove himself. Hog could pick and choose the plumpest of the doves for the High King's table and set the others free. One day in summer, Hog was summoned, means invited, called to the court, and brought him into the throne room. Hog bowed low because he was not called in the presence of the king before. He felt uncomfortable before the king in the palace. He felt as if he was caught in the stone cage in the palace. The king told him that he was getting married within a week, and Hog had to provide 100 doves for his wedding. The king introduced Hog with Lady Columba, with whom the king was getting married. The name the Lady Columba means dove, and the Lady Columba was so beautiful that Fowler was trembling while shaking hands with her in the palace. And not in the place, this is in the palace. Please write PLACE. Yeah, PLACE. What's a PALACE? This is okay, palace, not place, right? In the palace, not in the just place. It is in the palace, all right? Hogg had never seen and met that kind of pretty girl, and he decided to serve the king at any rate. Hogg promised to provide 100 doves in the wedding and went in the forest for the hunting of doves. But the Lady Columba did not want 100 doves in the wedding, and she requested the king to, who refused her request. The fowler mended his net, means repaired his net, and he slept a dreamless sleep in his hut at the edge of the forest. He went in the forest and caught 21 doves in its 4 days. But the white dove, like of Columba, vanished out of his net through, though there was no hole to escape. So there were only 80 doves in 4 days, and he got surprised why it was so, why the white dove vanished from the cage. On the fifth day, Hawk caught only 19 doves, and he had 99 doves within 5 days. But one beautiful white dove vanished from his net from the flock as easily as the air for 5 days. He went in the forest on the sixth day and waited for the dove to make it 100. The white dove arrived, and he was able to put her in the net and caught her by the hand. But the white dove requested him to leave her in the forest, and the fowler would get gold and silver. This was her request. But the fowler refused it, or refused her request. The second request of the white dove was to set her free for his fame and fortune. He would become very famous and fortunate if he left that white dove. But he denied. And the third and the last request was to set her free for his true love of the queen. And the fowler heard that the voice was the same as of the Lady Columba. It was the voice of the woman, but the fowler did not obey the dove, and he twisted the neck of the dove and killed the white dove. The fowler brought the white dove, but dead one. He went to the palace with 100 doves, 99 alive and one dead. But there was never waiting of the king because the Lady Columbia was dead as she had come in the form of dove in the forest. Then the fowler stopped hunting the birds in the forest and he lived with the fruits and berries. He stopped even eating or hunting and killing birds. He went on feeding grains to the birds. Now he was kind, loving to the birds. There were only sparrows and songbirds, but he never saw the dove again. As a fairy tale, the white dove itself was the Lady Columba, and he had killed it. She had come in the form of the white dove in the flock, and after her death there was no dove seen in by the howler. The Lady Columba herself had requested the king not to ask the fowler to hunt birds and bring the 100 doves in their wedding, but the king denied her request, and her fate was to die in the hands of the fowler. It is the misuse of power and the victory of the dove, victory of the uh, dove. It advises to use the power properly, and the power of love is beyond the head, and it is a matter of the heart. It suggests that in the case of dilemma between the head and heart, the heart becomes more powerful than the head. This is how the writer has brought completely imaginative story, fantasy, pure imaginative one, and in which the writer imagines that dove has come in the form of the queen, Lady Columba in the palace. And again, that Columba, the lady, in the form of dove, went in the forest and then just uh, all 99 doves were alive. But after 99 doves were alive, and later one dove, that was Lady Columba herself, was killed, and 100 doves were brought. It was meaningless, useless, and the king also did not have any marriage. So this fairy tale especially tells about how the story takes place, how the rule of the supernatural element takes place in fairy tales. This type of concept is given in the story of 100 doves. In fact, this fowler hog was living alone in the forest. He was hunting. He was a good hunter. He used to hunt big birds with the bow and small birds just through the net. And he used to take almost fattest birds to the high king's palace table, and then other birds he used to set free. But when he was called by the king in the court and the palace, and he was introduced with Lady Columba, he got surprised how beautiful that Lady Columba was. He just really did not believe in it. And then later, this king advised him to bring 100 doves for his wedding with the Lady Columba, and then he promised to kill or bring 100 doves. But that Lady Columba asked the king not to tell him to bring the doves, not to kill the doves, not to hunt the doves, but the king refused. And then for 5 days continuously, 4 days he continuously hunted or captured 21, 21, 21, and 21 doves. But one dove disappeared from his net, and that was Lady Columba. Without any hole, she disappeared from the net just like the air. And there were 80 doves in 4 days. And in fifth day, he just captured only 19 doves. And altogether there were 99 alive doves. And he had to wait one dove. And that was the last dove. And that was the dove of this Lady Columba herself. He went in the forest, he waited there, and he just got that dove. And that dove asked him, requested him not to do anything else, not to kill him. And there were three requests. First request was to leave him, and if he was left by in that at that time, if he was left And what it was, that he would get silver and gold. This was first request, and the hunter refused in it. And the second request was to leave her, and if he left her, his name and fame would become great. But even that second request he refused. And then the third request was, thus she would get married with him if he left her. That means it was that she was a Lady Columba, and then he would be getting married with her, right? But he refused. He twisted her neck and killed. And when he brought 99 live birds, live doves, and one dead, and there was no marriage of the king, because this Lady Columba herself was the dove, that white dove whom this hunter Fowler had killed. And from that time, Fowler never tried to just hunt in the forest. He did not see any doves in the forest. He did not do anything in the just hunting. Stopped eating that hunting, and then started living in berries and fruits. He it started eating only fruits, and from that time onward, what happened is that the doves were not seen in the forest. Doves were not found in the forest. When doves were not found in the forest, and then see, this hunter also was very sad, and it suggests that love is more important. Heart is more important when it is a matter of case of love rather than hate. This is how the story has presented the 100 doves. For little bit in Nepali for Sanskrit students, यस कथामा 100 doves भन्ने राजाले फाउलर भन्ने एउटा पात्र छन्. फाउलर भनेको हग हो, हन्टर हो, जङ्गलको नजिक बस्छन्. उनलाई राजाले बोलाएको हुन्छ. राजाले बोलाएर लेडी कोलम्बालाई चिनाउँछन् दरबारमा, र म राजा लेडी कोलम्बासँग बिहे गर्दैछु 1 हप्ताभित्र, तिमीले सबै किताब ल्याउनु पर्छ, 100 डोब ल्याउनु पर्छ भनेको हुन्छ. लेडी कोलम्बा एकदम अचम्म कि राम्री सुन्दर देख्दा छक्क पर्छन् ती हन्टर. छक्क परे पनि अनि उनले ल ल्याउँछु, जसरी प्रमाणित गर्छु भनेर उनी जान्छन्. अनि ढुकुर ढुकुर भेला पार्न थाल्छन्, खोज्न थाल्छन्. अनि पहिलो दिन उनले 21 पक्रिन्छन्, तर एउटा डोब चाहिँ हराउँछ. त्यो नै लेडी कोलम्बिया हुन्छ. दोस्रो दिन 21 एउटा हराउँछ, फेरि 20 मात्रै भयो. तेस्रो दिन पनि 21 अनि हराउँछ, अनि 20 मात्रै. चौथो दिन पनि हराउँछ, अनि एउटा. अनि खेर गएर जम्मा 80 हुन्छन्. अनि लास्टमा 19 पाँचौं दिनमा 19 पक्रिन्छन्, अनि 99 हुन्छन्. अनि अन्तिम दिनमा पर्खेर गएर एउटा त्यो डोबलाई पर्खेपछि त्यो डोब चाहिँ ल्याउँछन्. त्यो डोबले 3टा अनुरोध गर्छन्. पहिलो, हे मलाई छोड्देऊ, स्वतन्त्र गरिदेऊ, तिमीलाई सुन दिन्छु, सिल्भर दिन्छु, गोल्ड दिन्छु भन्दा उनी मान्दैन. दोस्रो अनुरोध हुन्छ, तिमीले मलाई छोड्यौ भने तिम्रो भाग्य चम्किन्छ, फेट हुन्छ, खर्चुन राम्रो हुन्छ, छोड्देऊ भन्दा पनि मान्दैनन्. उनी राजाप्रति वफादार हुन्छन्. तेस्रोमा चाहिँ, म तिमीसँगै बिहे गर्छु, तिम्रो मायाको लागि पनि गर भन्दा पनि उनी मान्दैनन्. त्यसपछि उनले मार्छन्, मारेर दरबारमा त ल्याउँछन्. दरबारमा ल्याएर के गर्ने, उनको विवाह हुन सक्दैन, किनभने त्यो लेडी कोलम्बा नै अलरेडी डेड भइसकेको हुन्छन्. लेडी कोलम्बा नै डोबको रूपमा डेड भएको हुन्छ. र यसरी दिस स्टोरी हेज गिभन द रियल कन्सेप्ट अफ the just what you call fairy tale, how fairy tale works in the society. This is short story. Please read it and enjoy.